Good morning, students of Standard 9. Today we are going to take the topic based on Election Commission. In the previous topic, we have dealt about the elections in India. So today we take up with the Election Commission. Now, election is a process by which the people elect their own representatives, and then their representatives they form the government and they rule the people. So here also an election is a process by which people elect their own representatives. These representatives in turn govern the country. So Election Commission is an autonomous body, today we will read about, and in our topic Election Commission. So the Constitution of India provides for a free and fair elections. So this free and fair elections contains in part 15 and runs from article 324 to 329. So therefore the Constitution provides, there is a provision in the Constitution to provide for free and fair election in the country under the articles 324 to 329, and this is contained in part 15 of the Indian Constitution. Clear? Now the composition of the Election Commission, that means according to the article 324 clauses 1 to 6 deals with the composition of the Election Commission and the Chief Election Commission. Clear? The Chief Election Commission stands at the top of the hierarchy of the Election Commission in India. That means he is the topmost body of the Election Commission in India. Then apart from that, it consists about the Election Commission consists about the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners as the case may be. So if you recall back from 1950 to 1989, the Election Commission was a single body. That means it was only one, the Election Commissioner, who used to deal with the elections or for conducting free and fair elections. But in 1989, the Constitution made it a multi-member body. That means apart from the Chief Election Commissioner, there were other two election commissioners. Okay, they were appointed to take care of the Election Commission. Clear? First it was from 1989 a multi-member body. That means apart from the Chief Election Commissioner, two other commissioners were appointed. That means it consists of three-member body. That is the Chief Election Commissioner and other commissioners as per the appointment with the Constitution. Now let us see for example the appointment of the Chief Election Commissioner. The Chief Election Commissioner is appointed by the President, okay, and at the behest of the Prime Minister as per Article 74. That means that it is appointed by the President of India as per the Article 74. And other regional commissioners are also appointed by the President in consultation with the Election Commission. Clear? The appointment will be, that means they are appointed by the President at the behest of the Prime Minister as per Article 74 of the Constitution, and other regional commissioners are also appointed by the President in consultation with the Election Commission. The Parliament of India again passed an act, that is in 1994, that is the Article 324, that is clause 5, which states that the term and office of the Chief Election Commissioner and other commissioners as laid down by this article. Clear? Now what are the terms and office of the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners as laid down by the Constitution under this article? That means the Election Commissioner and the Chief Election Commissioner, they are appointed for a period of 6 years and they continue till the office till they attain the age of 65 years. So once if within in term also if they have attained the age of 65, they have to retire. So the next will be appointed, next commissioner will be appointed in behalf of them. So that means the term of office is for a period of 6 years till they attain the age of 65 years. Clear? Secondly is the salary. The salary and allowances of the Chief Election Commissioner and the commissioners is in accordance with the judge of the Supreme Court. So whatever allowance or allowance the judge of the Supreme Court gets, the Chief Election Commissioner and the commissioners, they get the same salary as prescribed by the Constitution for the judge of the Supreme Court. Clear? Then if there is any difference in opinion between the Chief Election Commissioner and the other commissioners, it will be decided by the majority of the opinion. It will be decided by the majority of the opinion. Clear? So this is the terms and office of the Chief Election Commission and commissioners in India. Clear? Now we come back to the Election Commission. So the Election Commission is an autonomous body which is responsible for conducting free and fair elections in the country. So you can look at the chart. The Election Commission consists of the different bodies: the preparation of electoral rolls, recognition, registration and recognition of political parties, allotment of symbols, fixing dates and conducting elections, appointment of polling officers, scrutiny of the nomination papers, and scrutiny of the electoral expenses and electoral functions. So in broad, the Election Commission takes care of all these things. So we'll just go for a brief outline of how the Election Commission functions. Clear? The first one is preparation of electoral rolls, or we call it as it is the duty of the Election Commission to prepare the electoral rolls for the entire country or to the states when the elections are for the parliamentary elections and for the assembly elections. It prepares the electoral rolls. That is, the electoral roll consists of the name of the voters, the age, the sex and father's names, etc. That called the voter list. They take out the voter list, and in that it contains the name of the voters, their father's name, their age, their sex, date of birth, etc. Clear? And nowadays they have started up with a photo identity card of every voter. That means the photo identity card has been issued by the Election Commission, in which the voters have been allotted with their identity card. So this has been done to check the fraudulent practice in voting, so that they cannot go for more than once in voting, because they have to show the voter identity card and go for voting. That is the preparation of electoral rolls. Now after that, what it does, the Commission registration and recognition of the political parties. So the Election Commission recognizes the political parties and the regional parties also. So therefore it gives recognition to the political parties. Some political parties, they have permanent symbols or they are recognized as all India parties, like we have the Indian National Congress, BJP, and all these are, it gives a recognition. They have a permanent symbol that is there, and it recognizes them that they are all India parties or regional parties. It gives recognition. The Election Commission, it recognizes these parties as the all India parties or regional parties and gives recognition. Third, we have the allotment of symbols. So it is the Election Commission which allows the symbol to these parties, the regional parties and the political parties. Like those parties which are all India basis, they are like the BJP, the Indian National Congress. The BJP has lotus, the Indian National Congress, the palm or the heart shape you call it, and so this gives the fixed symbols are there. So it is only allotted to these recognized parties which are all India basis, original parties, and wherever their candidates are appearing for contesting for the elections, they will be having the same symbol irrespective of the state. Like the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, has the lotus. So wherever the candidate belonging to that political party will be having the symbol as notice. So it will give the allotment of symbols. Then the other independent candidates or candidates, the independent candidates or non-recognized candidate. So they have to choose from the list that is provided by the commission in the first come, first service basis. So if there is a conflict between them and the symbol, the commission may freeze and it may ask to choose from the list that is provided for them. So the allotment of symbol is also being done by the election commission. Third, we have fixing the dates and conducting the election. The election commission fixes and announces the date of elections both at the union level and the state level. It fixes the time and date in accordance to which the election can be held. So it is free, it has no obligation or no binding from the political parties. They will not put a pressure on it, on the commission to have or conduct election as per their convenience. It depends upon the election commission to conduct the election as per their time or other things permit. In case if there are emergencies or any misfortunes, the election commission may prepone or postpone the election as the need can be. So therefore, it fixes the dates and conducting of the election. Now it also checks whether the election is done in fair or correct manner. For that, it appoints the polling officers in the various constituencies allotted. The polling officer, called the returning officer. So he has the same designation as the deputy commissioner. He checks whether the elections are being done in a proper way or not. If there is any misuse or booth gathering or is done by force, the returning officer has to submit the report, and on the base of the returning officer's report, the election commission may countermand the election. That means it may declare the election to that particular constituency as null or void. Because if we find that any misconduct or any wrong has been done, then it may send the report and the election commission, after verifying, may countermand the election, or it may be declared that particular constituency as a null and void, and it may ask for re-election if it is found that certain malpractices have been done. So it will try to countermand the election. That is the polling officer's job. So he will furnish the reports, sees that the elections are done in a proper manner or not, and any parties or tries to misguide or use force in the election or like booth capturing or any violence. So he may report this to the election commission, and the election commission may countermand the election and may cancel the election for that particular period constituency and order for fresh election as the date will be decided by the election commission. Clear? Next we have scrutiny of the nominated papers. It's the duty of the election commissioner or the returning officer to check the scrutiny of the nominated papers, whether they have filed correctly the names and other thing, or they give the date to withdrawal of the candidate. Suppose the candidate after filing the nomination wishes not to conduct the election, the time is given. Within the specified time, it has to withdraw its name from the roll. So it checks whether these papers are in a correct way filled in a correct manner or not. So scrutinize the nominated papers or the nomination papers, checks whether the name, everything of the particular candidate is in accordance with the norms of the election commission or not. If it is not in accordance with the election commission, it may reject the nomination papers of that particular candidate. Yeah? Then we have the scrutiny of the election expenses. So the election commissioner or the returning officer checks the election expenses. That means if you have seen before the election comes, the candidate, they furnish their properties, how much they own, all that. So it checks whether it is correct or not, the election expenses or whatever properties or they have, it is correct or not, it checks. So this has been done to use the money in in the election, so that the political parties or the candidate may use money in winning the election. So it checks whether whatever his accounts or whatever financial status he has given is correct or not. And if he finds that there is something wrong, it may countermand the election, send the report to the election commission, and the commission may debar him or he may cancel that particular candidate's election, even if he has won the election. So therefore, it scrutinizes the election expenses of the party or the candidate. Now finally also we see that the advisory function. The election commission also advise the president, the state governors on the different matters of the election relating to the election, and may give advices in matters of like election of the candidates, their ways, how to conduct, how to go about, it may give the advisory functions to the president or to the governor of the state concerned. So in short, we see that these are the functions of the election commission, and they check how the election is being done in India to conduct fair and free election in India, so that the election process can be smooth and rather function. Apart from this, it is also goes to the citizens of India to nominate or to give vote to the parties who are well, who can do the work service, awareness, and not simply because of that particular candidate is favors YKF. So it is awareness among the citizens also to vote for the proper candidate or for a good candidate who can at least do something for the nation and for the community as well. So in short, we have dealt with the function of the election commission, the appointment of the chief election commissions and all. So if you have any doubt, any problem, you can call back, please subscribe and see. Till then, go through with the assignments given. If you find any difficulties, you can contact me. Till then, take care of yourself. May God bless you.